and welcome back to my channel. My name is Natsa, and if you clicked on this video, you probably have issues with blending your leave out to your extensions. Don't you worry, I'm here to help and give you my full in-depth breakdown of how I do my refreshes every week. Just so that you guys have the hair details, this is Kinky Straight hair, 2016 and 18-inch bundles. I also have type 4 hair, so blending type 4 hair with extensions is a struggle, and I've definitely cracked the code with making it look as natural as possible. I think also the fact that I have kinky straight extensions helps with that as well, but I think that this is probably something that you could also try with a more bone straight texture. It just may require you having to do it a lot more often. Anyways, enough yapping. Let's get into the in-depth tutorial on how I did my hair. Clearly my hair is in deep need of a refresh, so we need to get started with getting a handle on this immediately. First thing I'm gonna do is take a brush. This one is from Conair, and just brush through everything. My hair should be pretty detangled because I do brush through it every day, but once I've brushed through everything, I like to separate my leave out from the extensions. So that is just what I'm doing next. Now that my leave out is all separated, I'm going to wet my hair. I don't exactly have a spray bottle, so I'm just gonna go over to my sink and dampen it in there. Not the best angle, but you know, it does the job. Alrighty, hair is all dampened and it's time to put in all of our products. First thing I'm gonna go in with is this Mielle Rosemary Mint Strengthening Hair Mask. A good amount of that. And just distributing that into my leave out, making sure I get every single strand, all my edges, and just getting into my hair. I like to use a lot of this, and as you can see, my hair is starting to revert back, which is good. We love to see that. Really don't straighten my hair often. I try to only do it once a week, which is on refresh days, so that my hair remains pretty healthy. I mean, as healthy as it can, being that I have a sew-in in my head. Once I've made sure that I've gotten every strand, I can now move on to the extensions. So we're just going to put some hair mask in the extensions. Same thing, you want to make sure that you get every single strand of hair. I'm focusing a ton of this on my ends because I think sometimes the ends look a little dehydrated, and this kind of brings them back to life as much as possible. Once I place all the product in there, I brush through. This also helps distribute everything. I don't really do a ton on the top of the hair because I feel like the ends just need a little bit more love. I do put some in there. All right, now I'm gonna do the other side. Now that my hair has all the deep conditioner in it, it's time to hydrate and oil the scalp. Because my sew-in has a net in it, it's really hard to get to my scalp properly. So on sew-in refresh day, I like to put a ton of oil on my scalp just to hydrate it, because you don't really want your sew-in to look oily during the week. So I put the oil in right before I wash my hair, that way my scalp still gets the hydration without making the extensions oily. So I'm just gonna go in with this Camille Rose Strength Serum, and just gonna do my best to get this into my scalp. I don't necessarily have a method with this. I just put it all over, and if I feel like a part of my head doesn't have any oil in it, then I'll just like go over that part. This also is a really good time to itch your scalp. It feels so good. Also taking some and putting it in my leave out area. I'm probably gonna say this over and over throughout this video, but the key to having a good sew-in refresh is a super hydrated leave out. So any hydrating you can do in the pre-wash and condition process, do it, because it helps so much with the look and outcome of after you straighten your hair and all that stuff. Now I'm going to use the Mielle oil and and just same thing, working that all up into my scalp. This is such a long process, but it is so worth it, especially for the health of your hair. And last thing we're gonna do is just work all that product into the scalp. Kind of feeling around for spots where maybe I didn't get. Getting that in there. Putting all my extensions into a little bun so that the hair mask can sit and do its thing. The last thing I'm putting into my leave out is this Olaplex Intensive Bond hair treatment. I did this last week for the first time and I think that it really made a difference. So I just doused my hair in this. Now I'm gonna put on a shower cap and let all that product soak and sit for honestly as long as possible. I have some homework to do, breakfast to eat, some other things to sort out. So I'm gonna get all that done before I come back and wash everything out and get into the next part of the process. All right, it's been about 2.5, 3 hours, and we're about to get a little bit intimate, if you will. I have my bathing suit on, and I'm gonna show you all the products I use, everything that I do while I'm in the shower on wash day. Let's get into it.
All right, ladies and gents, it's time for the moment you've all been waiting for. We're hopping in the shower. The products that I use today are all from Shea Moisture. We've got the Intense Hydration shampoo and conditioner, and then I also have this purple comb. I said that I would be saying this a lot throughout this video, and it's true. The key to a good refresh day is a hydrated looking sew-in. So these hydration products are key. It doesn't have to be Shea Moisture, but any sort of hydration products. All right, back to it. I started off by rinsing out all of the deep conditioner. This part is super vital. You want to make sure you get it all out of your hair. Deep conditioner is super heavy, so it being stuck in there is not what you want. Then I went in with the shampoo and I gave my extensions a really good scrub. I like to start off with the extensions and then I go in to the leave out and shampoo that. Leave some shampoo in there while I wash out the extensions and then wash out the shampoo for the leave out. When it comes to conditioning my hair, I start by putting the conditioner in the leave out first. I let it sit in the leave out. Then I put the conditioner in my extensions. I comb through my extensions and then I go in and just rinse everything out. Again, you want to make sure that all of that product is out of your hair. I rinse out the extensions first and then I do the leave out. That way the conditioner can sit in the leave out a little bit longer because hydration is key. And then I dry my face and my body and my hair with a normal towel and hop out.
I look insane right now, so let's just try to look past that, please. But as soon as I stepped out of the shower, I just towel dried my hair with this regular towel. I probably should use like a microfiber towel or something like that, but I just don't have one, so I'm not going to. Anyways, first thing I do as soon as I step out of the shower is I use this Amika Frizz-Me Knot spray and I just drench my leave out with this. And then the next thing I do is grab my blow dryer and begin blow drying my roots. This part is super important because you want to make sure that your roots are super duper dry. And since I don't have one of those overhead dryers, this is the only way I can do it. If you have one of those, I would recommend definitely using that. So I'm going to probably spend like 20 minutes making sure that my roots are super dry. Every few minutes or so, I'll go back through and brush out the extensions because they get a little bit tangled because of the blow dryer. So I'll just kind of go back in and brush everything out and then start blow drying again. All right, I think my scalp is pretty much dry. What I like to do to check is just like feel around with my fingers, make sure all the cornrows feel dry, maybe squeeze around a little bit. Now I'm taking my comb attachment and I'm gonna use this to blow dry and stretch my leave out. Flipping this back really quickly. Now that my leave out and everything is blow dried, I'm going to unclip, split the hair into 2 sections. I'm gonna clip this side up. And then I'm gonna go in with my Revlon blow dryer, and then I'm gonna re-blow dry the extensions to try and get everything as straight as possible. I also like to split the 2 sections in half, or at least try to. I don't even think I have any hair ties here. And then at least attempt to like blow dry in the middle, because you can see here like the kinky pattern at the root. So I'm trying to like blow dry that out a little bit. And this helps a ton because you don't have to do as much heat styling. So I'll show you the difference between this side, which is dry, but it's just like regularly blow dried, and this side that I use the Revlon brush is a lot straighter. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side and come back when it's time to straighten. All right, now that both sides of my hair are blow dried, I'm gonna take this comb and just part my hair. This is like a slight sort of side part, so I'm kind of parting it there. It's kind of hard to make it look decent enough, so I'll kind of mess with it a bunch until it looks right. Now I'm going back in with the Revlon brush and going over the part. All right, now that everything is all blow dried, I'm going through and brushing everything out again. And I'm going to section my hair. And I have like maybe 1/3 of my hair out at the bottom. The rest I'm going to tie up into just a little bun situation. Doesn't need to look perfect, honestly. And then before I blow dry, I take this Amika Shield Anti-Humidity Spray. Or not blow dry, before I straighten. I spray this. Then I take this Silk Therapy oil, literally do the littlest bit of that. Rub that through my hands and coat the hair with that. You do not need a ton. Then obviously I'll go in with some pretty small sections. I don't really do the chase method for the back of my head because that to me just feels like a lot of work, but my straightener is on 450 right now, and just taking that super slowly through. And because they're extensions, I'll usually do more than one pass. Probably not the best idea, but once like really slow pass, and then the rest I'll do like faster passes. And that's what the hair looks like. Yeah, super easy. And then I just go and do that for the rest of the section and just keep moving on until I get to the top of my head. All right, this is the straighten section. This is the blow dried section. And I'm just gonna keep going, doing the same thing for the rest of my head. All right, now that I've straightened all of the extensions, it's time to straighten my leave out. How I like to do this is first I go in with a wax stick. This is the Nexus Slick Stick. Oh wait, I don't do that first actually. I take my humidity spray, the oil, and make sure that all of my hair gets some of that in there. All right, and then I take the section of my natural hair, I apply wax stick to the root. On both sides. Also placing some of that on the ends, and I just comb that through with a rat tail comb. And then I take super small sections. So I'm gonna start with this one right here. Go in with my straightener and I do one pass. Super slowly. And then that's it. And I just do that for the rest of it. And I don't necessarily straighten it in any direction. I kind of worry about that after. Okay, I'm gonna do the other side and come back. All right, once everything is all nice and straightened, what I like to do is do one last pass where I straighten the extensions and my natural hair together. That way, everything blends a little bit better. So I'll just take a chunk like that, and then I'll just go in and make sure everything is straightened together. Then I'll take a hard brush and brush everything down. Now just doing the same thing on the other side. And then very last thing I do, I'll grab some hairspray and I'll spray my hard brush. And then I'll take a do-rag and I'll just wrap my hair for like, I don't know, maybe 10-20 minutes. Doesn't have to be super long, just so that the hairspray sort of dries down and everything molds together. And now I'm just going to let that sit for a few. All right, and here we have the final completed sew and refresh. I'm not gonna lie, I had my makeup done all cute. I was gonna film an outro and I got distracted with filming other things and completely forgot about it and took off all my makeup and got in my pajamas. But anyways, this is what everything is looking like. I feel like I've definitely mastered blending and making things look fresh and new. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Feel free to drop them down below. Also, don't forget to follow me on my other socials. It's Life of Natsa on everything: Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye.